It's trivia game time, but why? Well, hi Steve, how you doing? Because it's my 5th-year anniversary on here. Nice to see you, Steve.
You too.
Thanks so much for being here. But we'll be back in a minute as soon as I find my video clip. Hang on.
Okay.
What you being? Steve helped me pick out today's clip. By the way, you did a good job. I appreciate that.
Well, I had you pick that one, well, because it is your 5 years on YouTube. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
But
you.
you're welcome. I chose that because it does say Jan from NYC, on the front, and it represents New York, and you got the scenery. So it's in alignment with you. So that's the reason why I said, why not use that one?
I just thought I heard somebody trying to ring this bell at the inappropriate time. I hope not. I'm going to still talk anyway. Anyway, Steve, thank you so much for being here. For those who do not know, this is Steve Young from the Everywhere with Steve Young 74 channel. He has a wonderful channel. It's a random channel. I'm on it a lot of times, but what I love the most is that we never know what we're going to talk about till pretty close to the time. Steve, I love your randomness. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Let's celebrate my, can you believe it, 5th year on this platform. Steve, we're going to begin with you. If you would be so kind to read the first few questions, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. All right. The first question is, Jan created over 1,900 videos since 2018. Is the answer true or false? The second one, does Jan have a funny rant style show, or rather, did she have a funny rant style show in the past on YouTube? Was that true or false? The third question, in general, does Jan love to eat beans? Would it be yes or no? The fourth question, what is Jan's favorite ice cream? Vanilla, chocolate, or vanilla fudge? The fifth question and last question, is Jan mainly a cat person or a dog person? So think about those questions that I just mentioned, give it some thought, and we'll come back with the answer.
Steve, it'll be interesting to see what the folks think about those answers. Thank you so much for reading those off. I appreciate it. And hearing that semi-bell go off a second ago, like, no, not now. Anyway, okay, thank you so much. I'm going to go on to the next few questions. True or false? Did I ever want to quit making YouTube videos? True or false? Next, which video helped me to continue on making budget videos? Was it my very first upload that made me want to continue making budget videos? Or was it my envelope system video, which came on at a much later date? So was it on my first upload, or was it on a later date envelope system video? Next, was my mom ever featured on a video? Yes or no? Next, what type of coffee is my favorite? Would it be brewed or would it be instant? Next, Listen carefully to this one. Who shouted out my channel? The first person to ever shout out my channel, was it Rhoda Stone or another channel? Who shouted out my channel first? Rhoda Stone or another channel? So, Steve, what we'll do is we'll go back to you with the answers of the questions that you had given.
Okay. All right. The first question, Jan created over 1,900 videos since 2018. In the past, did Jan have a funny rant style show on YouTube? If you answered true, your answer is correct. And I actually do remember part of that segment. Well, let's see, because Jan and I, about that time, we did have, we had lost touch with each other, I think, about the year she started YouTube. Didn't know anything about it. And then a couple of years later, I happened to accidentally run across her in my YouTube feed there, but then looking at her content, that's how I found her brand. Okay, the next one was, in general, does Jan love beans? Actually, she does not. Beans is not one of her main or one of her top things to eat. So if you answered no, you are correct. The next one, what is Jan's favorite flavored ice cream? Vanilla, chocolate, or vanilla fudge? If you answered vanilla fudge, you're right. That is correct. And the last question, is Jan mainly a cat person or a dog person? If you answered a cat person, you are correct. She, ever since I can remember, from back when we first were starting to talk to each other and, things like that, we shared our different animals that we had over the years. And I do remember you having in your animal, through the year over the dogs, not, so.
Definitely love cats. While I did have a dog or two, a Spot we did have for a long time, Gigi we had for about 12, 13 years. Okay, I would still consider myself more of a cat person.
Cat person?
Just love, I just think they're so cute. They're just so cute, Steve. I love them.
And independent.
And independent, yes. So, Steve, by the way, if everybody's doing well on these, let me know, how you're doing so far on the quiz. Let me know in the comments section. Thanks, Steve. Now I'm going to turn the questions, the answers, Steve, for fun. I want to see if I ask you the last 5 questions. Okay. Take a chance and see. Okay. All right. So let me find them. Okay. Steve, true or false? Did I ever want to quit making YouTube videos? True or false?
You did.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest, if it's okay. I know that this is your show about you. Even I wanted to quit YouTube. I actually wanted to just say the heck with it 4 times. The last time it was as recent as April. I just wanted to I'm done. Because I would just spin my wheels in one spot. I'm like, okay. But unless I get more subscribers to help me move up instead of spin my wheels and feel like stagnant water, what am I doing here? So that's how I felt as recent as April. But now that things have made some recent changes, I don't really feel like that now. But in response to you, though, yes, you did want to quit YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, it's as wonderful as this. As much I love it. I love giving the messages. It's we don't make it look like it's work, but sometimes it's work. And if you're a daily uploader like yours truly, it is a challenge. But when you see like Steve felt at that time out like spinning the wheels in one place, yeah, that could be very frustrating. So for, there were periods of time where I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why?
Mhm.
But then I'll wake up the next day and go, okay, let's throw out another message.
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
crazy. It's
Mhm.
right. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Steve. So let's see if you know this next one. Which video? Now this one's tricky. Which video helped me to continue on making budget videos? Was it my very first upload that I was a budget person, or was it my envelope system video?
Okay. My answer is going to be, and I'll tell you what it is, and then I'll kind of expand on it as to why I say that. I would say number two, the envelope system, because the key word in that is budget. That's the key word. When it comes to the envelope system, what are we normally doing? Saving money. So I kind of put them together, and that's
Right.
what made me think of the envelope system. But
So you took like an educated guess based on the answer. Probability that it would make more sense. And it's really true because my very first intention on being a YouTube person at that time was to talk about diet, weight loss. Yeah, okay, right. I found it to be too stressful, and I didn't
Mhm.
want to have to do that. And it was like, how much could you talk about it? That's how I felt. Everybody's different. But then one day, Steve, I decided to like put my teaching skills into action, and I did like this false scenario with fake money and cut out with construction paper about the envelope system. And I was below 100 subs, Steve, and I got quickly like 100 views on it at that time. So I
Yeah.
said, wait a minute, they're watching this kind of stuff, and I know a lot more about that type of subject matter than sitting around talking about calories and stuff. So that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Okay, next questions to Steve. Steve, was my mom ever featured on a video? Yes or no?
Back video. There was one, if memory serves correctly. I think your mom had to go to her eye doctor, I believe it was, and you, her, were in the back of a cab driving around in your area. And at first, I didn't really pick up on it, but then because I knew your mom, from because we've known each other long enough time. In fact, when you and I were on the phone, there were times that she and I would have a little, you know,
Oh,
but
yes. You spoke to my mom several times. My mom really
right,
loved Steve. Yes.
yeah, and the same, but I didn't really know in the beginning when I watched, but then I heard Viola's voice pop in. I'm like, oh, okay. And then that's when I found out from you later, after, that it was an appointment she had at the eye doctor.
Eye doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice little
And
memory
I
there.
still have that. I'm glad I didn't take that video down. Still exists.
Oh yeah, keep
We
that up.
recorded that on April 3rd, 2019. That was her last eye doctor appointment.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. Well, she, passed the following year.
right.
She had a really good eye doctor appointment. I mean, she was getting her glaucoma pressure test, and she did
Hmm.
very well. It was like 13 and 13 because she had to manage her glaucoma for years, and
Yeah.
she had managed it very well. So that was like promising. But, her dementia was getting on and was starting to affect
Hmm.
her and all of us. Unfortunately, it's not fun. Dementia is not fun. But just to mention an interesting fact, Steve, there was because I took it down because of copyright. Okay. There was another video which my mother participated. I was doing active trivia game shows, and she was answering all the questions in the background. That was like the
Um,
year prior, and she had less dementia going on, and she was clear. And actually, a few people recall that video. I wasn't speaking to you again yet. They were still on pause at that time. I'm sorry that you
yeah.
missed that one, but I'm glad you saw the April 3rd, 2019, which is
Oh, yeah.
still. All right. Next question, Steve. You must know the answer to this one. What type of coffee is my favorite? Instant or brewed or instant?
I've always known you to be an instant coffee type.
Yes. Why do you think
Um,
I named my show the Instant Coffee with Jen
the
Show?
Jan show. Yeah, because it kind of goes with the territory. Me,
Yes.
in my case, I can do brewed, I can do perked, I can do instant. I'm not I'm not particular when it comes to coffee. In my case, I'll drink just about anything. Just about, not
No.
everything. But
But you're very knowledgeable in the coffee arena. I mean, like, no, really, I just want to mention, Steve, if you don't mind. Steve is to coffee what a wine person is to wine, like a connoisseur. You know a lot of information, like little
well,
bits and tic tacs. I don't know. You just know all of it.
I wouldn't quite go that far. I mean, I do enjoy different coffees. I mean, yes, I grew up drinking espresso. You know, my mom's side of the house. I grew up on Medaglia de Oro. You know, now I've got my mocha coffee maker, and from what I understand, one of our subscribers uses one of those devices to make their. In fact, I
Oh,
think
nice.
Yeah, in fact, I think they use the same coffee I'm currently using, the Bustelo, which is
Oh,
nothing more than a Spanish variation of, you know, of the other one. They're similar in taste, but one is Spanish, one is Italian. But I can drink just about any type of coffee. I mean, there might
but
be
you
one or
can
two.
tell though the differences between the heavier roast, like dark roast, medium. You notice it. Where I'm like, I'll say this, like, if it were me, oh, that's really strong. Oh, that's not strong enough. Like, like you really, you're knowledgeable in that arena.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna throw in a little piece of a piece of news here. There's nothing wrong with buying dark roast coffee, and I'll tell you why. I know this is a little bit off topic, but it is a
No,
way to save
let me
money.
know. I want to know.
Buy the dark roast coffee because why? One, you can use less dark roast. It'll make your coffee a little bit less strong, and you're saving money because the dark roast will go further.
Bingo! I just heard the skies part and the choir sing. I love it.
So don't think, oh, it's dark roast, it's strong. Oh, I can't drink. You can't do that. You can't. Just what you do is you use less dark roast. It's going to make the coffee weaker because you can kind of control it when you make it just like you can instant. But the dark roast will go further because you're using less of it.
Exactly. Hey, Steve, I have a bonus question for the viewers. You don't have
All
to,
right.
you shouldn't answer this one. True or
Mm.
false? Was Steve ever a channel contributor to this channel? And if
Okay.
so, in what area?
Okay.
You think they know the
Well,
answer to that one,
if you
Steve?
want, if you want me to answer that, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yes, you can
Yes,
answer that one.
before I started my own channel, probably I guess for about a year, give or take, I would be a contributor on your channel. I would send little small 2 3 minute 3.5 minute video clips, and you would attach it to your video, and then you would. That's how people got a little bit of a taste of me. And then in 2021 October 19th, which is not really that far away, in about 3 months, um, is when I decided to just take that leap and do my own channel. So here I am, almost 3 years later.
I cannot believe that before you know it, you will be celebrating your 3rd year on here.
Mm-hmm.
Where did the time go? I do have to final question, and it'll be interesting to see. Well, first of all, let me see if you know this, Steve. Who shouted out my channel first? Was it Rhoda Stone on the Rhoda Stone channel or someone else on another channel?
Oh, that's an easy one. I actually know this. I'm pretty sure I know this. Rhoda did.
You better believe it. Rhoda Stone. If you're watching, Rhoda, first of all, thank you for everything. Rhoda Stone was the first person to mention my channel on her channel a while back. Well, yeah, like about 4 years ago or less, something like that, or a little more than that. But what she did was she took one of my videos and put it on another, like on Twitter. Thank you, Rhoda. That was very nice. And while we're at it, I know I mentioned it, but for anyone who didn't know, Rhoda recently hit 6 million views. That is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yes, it is. That's I don't know. That to me, that's beyond a milestone. I mean, people. I hate to say it because I see people on YouTube really only dream to ever hit that amount, and I mean that. And I mean that in a non-sarcastic kind of way, because
no, I know you do.
Yeah. So
that's wonderful.
Anyway.
And then the next one in succession that mentioned my channel as a shout out was also Dawn from Sensible Living with Money Mom. Steve, I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to thank all of the viewers. Without you, there's no reason for me to smash down the record button. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the views. Thanks for all of your channel support, directly or indirectly. Steve and I could speak for the both of us here. We both truly, truly appreciate every single one of you. I hope you got all the answers right. Let us know in the comment section below. Steve, I'm trying to find my closeout video clip, and we'll choose this one for right now. Hang on. Amazing, fantastic day. Steve, is there something else that you wanted to add before we go?
Not really right off. No, nothing.
Okay.
Except for those of you that don't know, I myself have a channel on here as well. It's called Everywhere with Steve Young 74. Please feel free to come over and look at some of my videos. At a lot of the time, especially toward the weekend, Jan comes over and we do a video kind of like this, but I also do some content on my own as well. So definitely come over and take a look.
And like I mentioned earlier in the video, I love that his channel is random. And just to mention this while I have you here for a second, let's grow Steve's channel. He's just a few hundred away from hitting the 1,000 subscriber mark. By the way, Steve, did I mention to the audience about, what are you like, well over or close to 7,000 watch hours? So you surpassed your requirement for watch hours a gazillion years ago, right?
Yeah. My watch hours, my full watch hours. I mean, I could give you that pretty easy. I'm at that page now.
So it's not a question of Steve needing watch hours. Steve surpassed that like a really long time ago. Just let's help him to climb to hit that 1,000 sub mark. Why? So that he could become fully monetized. That would be a really, really great thing.
Well, my watch hours is not quite 7,000, but I'm showing 6,274.7.
Yeah, I don't know why I had it in my head. Maybe I was thinking of something else. But that's still very good, 6,200 watch hours. Come on, Steve. A channel at your size for 6,200 and something watch hours is phenomenal.
Well, what you might be thinking of is my total. You may be thinking of my total view count, which is 74,458.
Yes. Wow. That's nothing to sneeze at either. Oh, my word.
No, it's not. Mm-mm.
Very good. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Have a great day and take good care, everyone. Bye-bye, Steve. Thank you.
You're welcome.